And we're live. Welcome to the 24-hour celebration bonanza. $5.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it at this point, man. We're 550. We're hitting that. We're
$5.50. What's the price?
The year of CEL. That's what we'll call it. The year of CEL.
The year of
Man,
CEL.
From 3 cents to whatever we end up being at, $6 or $5 or whatever. This is
$5.50.
Amazing year for Celsius. Amazing.
Beautiful, man.
And
Well, you have that snapshot back to the I think it was the May podcast you had.
Right.
It was sometime like really. It was like back. Like I remember it. I remember that. I still remember that podcast. Like it's pretty crazy. Like
you think
we're here now. We're literally here now.
Yeah, you think about how many months ago, right? That was 9 months ago, and think about how different things are, right? Like we all got in around the same time. I think you guys got in slightly before me, but we all kind of got in that spring kind of range.
Yeah, it was like it was pretty trippy, dude. I mean, I think I got. I mean, the first time I ever bought any CEL was maybe like 9 cents and stuff. We were just tiptoeing around and stuff into Uniswap, and like the liquidity was so terrible when we first did it. It was so bad. Like I was buying CEL with like just tiny amounts of Ethereum and stuff. I think I was buying maybe like a tenth of an Ethereum, because it would I would sort of start increasing the price on myself.
Yeah, I remember you were telling me how you would put in these small ETH buys every hour to avoid like spiking because there just wasn't that much volume that much liquidity at the time in the order books with that. But now it's pretty amazing. You can go in.
Now you don't really move the price at all, right? Like depending on how much you're buying, like it's not really an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're doing Uniswap, then you don't have to worry about anything. But
right now, you really do want to make your purchases through Uniswap. I mean, obviously, you don't have to wake yourself up, but it does. There is a benefit with buying on Uniswap, because it ends up kind of making the price go up higher, more easier. If you know how it kind of ends up working. I think all you need to do is I'm not sure how much Ethereum's in the Uniswap pool, but basically, if you were to put the same equal amount in one purchase, you would 4x the price. In a week. So imagine if there's 5,000 ETH on one side, and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to buy 5,000 ETH worth of CEL token. You'd 4x the price or higher. It's pretty crazy. But it's actually kind of a good thing that we're actually only on a couple exchanges right now, because it makes more bubbly, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everything that I think now it's like. There's definitely people that are having a hard time still buying. That's the other thing. Like we're going to see once Celsius is, even easier to purchase. Like now it's not too bad for people that know in crypto. I think anyone in crypto that's been in long enough, I think they know how to buy at this point, or they can figure it out between Uniswap and Liquid. It's not that hard for crypto people, but and also now you can buy through the app, right? Like a lot of people, if you're in the US and in Europe, it's pretty seamless now. Have you guys done anything through the app yet? Have you purchased through your bank accounts through the app or anything like that? Because you guys are in the States, so you should be able to just go straight from your bank account now, using, is it ACH or SEPA, or which one is the US?
Yeah,
I think it's ACH.
Yeah, it's ACH. I haven't tried, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I remember this was a couple months ago, back when I guess some of those payment rails were getting set up to go through the app. I personally haven't tried it, mostly because I actually haven't bought or added that much crypto really since the summer. The bulk of my holdings today were mostly stuff that I got during the bear market. And I'm just trying to sneak a couple more buys in for basically this entire market cycle. But that might be something definitely worth checking out. I've heard things as far as being able to get things directly through the app, which would be pretty amazing. Because then it just takes away some of the complications of somebody figuring out how to not that it's that difficult to use Uniswap, but anything that makes it easier is
I think
definitely
it's
really good.
yeah, man. It's definitely a lot easier for people that are new to crypto. I think to be able to just like click on the app, do their bank transfers, even credit card purchases, however people decide to do it. The interesting thing I'm finding in Canada, because I've been onboarding just like a few people this last couple of weeks here that are watching the price go up, and I've been telling them to get in for probably 6 months, but now they're listening. So, but yeah what I've noticed, because just with about a half dozen people is, all of them are getting blocked with Visa transfer or with credit card transfers. So the banks pretty much in Canada, anyways, they don't let you transfer through credit cards. So it's available in Canada to do the credit card through the app, but I don't know. I mean, every bank so far, and it's been a few different ones, has just blocked it. And it's crazy to think that your bank is just not going to allow you to use your credit card for certain purchases. But I guess they just they just decided that, in Canada, like the banks are just like, well, we're not. And I don't know what the logic behind that is. I guess they could say like, we don't want you to be putting money into crypto because we want you to pay back your credit card. But at the end of the day, like think about what they let you purchase with your credit card. Like, how is it okay to like, they don't care if you run up your bill with anything else, but it just doesn't, it's kind of odd, right? Like there's not really a justification not allow you use your own money to buy something regardless of what it is. It's not illegal. Like in Canada, there's nothing illegal about crypto. So the banks for them to stop it is just straight up because it's competition for them at this point. Like, and they don't want you to be taking money out of your bank account to buy it, but they don't mind if you go and spend it on whatever nonsense, right?
Right. Yeah. Here in the States, it's if you let's say make if you're transferring money, let's say from your checking account, then there's not really any issues there. Usually checking debit cards are fine since you're pulling directly from your checking account at that point. Credit cards, though, I don't think they're as open to that idea as well. Because I think what happened was during the 2017 bubble, there was people like using their credit card, but it was like during like the cycle tops.
Right.
So it was basically that whole situation that I think they're more cautious like on the side of credit. Like right now, I mean, I'm not going to, I guess not financial advice, but obviously like right now, this is like the early stages. So when you analyze like the risk of the entire market as a whole, like it's fairly low in the grand scheme of things, assuming like the person's not like trading, they're just basically buying and holding. But like, I guess they're like, they're not as in tune like with like where things are like in terms of like the market cycles and things like that. So because I think at this point, like there's a lot, I think there's a lot or more and more people, I should say, that would like to leverage as much of their money as possible and get it like into the market while basically the opportunity's there. Because obviously like the earlier the better. So and this could be going on for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I'd be interested. Like, so it makes sense to me that because of 2017 and because people were using their credit cards, they've kind of like, right away they're kind of just not going to allow that. Which, I mean, because no one knows. Like, well, yeah, banks especially, like they assume it's going to crash at any point. Like, they're not obviously going to be aware of market cycles or anything like that. They're just kind of like, no, we don't know when this is going to end, and we just don't want a bunch of people max out their cards, which I mean, you shouldn't be buying crypto with credit cards anyways, unless you're paying that money off. Like, obviously that's, kind of it goes against everything Celsius is trying to promote, right? Is like financial freedom and just smart financial decisions. So to max out your credit card and you have no way of paying that back, it just kind of defeats the purpose of getting in a sell in the first place. But having said that, people can use their credit card for make the purchase and then just pay it off if they have money in their bank account. It's just an on-ramping tool, and they don't mind paying like the 3% fee or 2% fee. So it's more, I'm talking about it like that. Like, I'm not promoting anyone in Canada. These people I'm talking to, it's not like I'm saying, oh yeah, put your money in, max out your cards. No, it's like they just have money in their accounts. They just are using it as a way of purchasing. So they paid off right away or whatever, right? So And what do you guys think about just Bitcoin? Like, we hit 27,000 here. Like, we're looking pretty good. Like, do you think we'll see a small pullback soon here, or a decent sized pullback?
Yeah, I guess DC, did you wanna?
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, the absolute top I think we'll hit right now, if we keep running up even a little bit, would be like 30K or 29,000 at the most, and then we'd get a correction down to probably the low 20s, maybe 19K, which would people would be like, oh no, the world's gonna end, and it'd probably be like one of the biggest opportunities to buy. One of the last times to buy.
That would be wonderful, because I kind of have the same kind of thought process there. Like, it does kind of seem like it's getting close to a short-term top. I mean, even if you look at the weekly candles for Bitcoin, it doesn't really go on for much longer than it's been at right now. It's had an incredible run. So if there is, let's say, another good buying opportunity, I'll certainly be looking to add like in one of my retirement accounts.
Yeah,
so,
you're kind of watching. You were talking about like you're kind of waiting to your dollar cost averaging in, but you're kind of being very selective on what your dollar cost averaging into based on prices and stuff, obviously, because like you have multiple investments, right? So you're just kind of looking at it and being like, okay, you know, what is there anything that's still obviously undervalued for long term, but anything short term, like Ben Cohen, I think the bull market support right now, I think on his last YouTube show or something, it was around 16,000 is like and that's like the worst case scenario, right? That's like that's not saying we're going to go down there. He doesn't say like it's going to go back to those levels. He's saying if there was a very strong pullback, that's kind of like the strong levels of support around like 17,000 right now. So we already have support at those levels, right? And I mean, that's a 50%, almost 50% correction at this point. Like we're at 29 right now. I'm looking at the prices, and Bitcoin, I mean, it's interesting. Like, I think Bitcoin's had a really good run here. It's hard to say what'll happen, obviously, but even Ethereum, like it looks like Ethereum's starting to get ready for a decent sized move.
I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, it's so beautiful too, because like, even though I'm not sure if Ethereum's the main trading pair for Celsius right now, but I'm guessing it probably is. It's one of the main pairs.
Most volume is going through ETH, right? Because of Uniswap. Like I think Liquid, what I've noticed lately is like the Bitcoin on-ramp to sell is oversubscribed. Basically, like I was because I was just buying small amounts of Celsius not too long ago here, and I noticed like on a regular basis on Liquid, the Bitcoin to sell pair was trading like 5 to 10 cents above the USDC to sell pair. So like the amount of people trying to buy, dumping their Bitcoin and buying sell on Liquid, because that is really the main on ramp for, I think, Bitcoin, right? For Ether, it is obviously Uniswap, and that is the main trading pair. Yeah, I think Ether has the most volume, right?
Yeah, it does. Like it's pretty insane just how like if you look at the CEL to ETH pair, it actually blew above the channel it was moving in, basically dating back to around like November of 2019. So that's like pretty incredible, because like it's pretty much like I posted it in the private chat. I'm not sure if there's a way to to show like viewers or something like that. But
I mean, you can in the private chat, like if you well, how does it work? Dollar cost, you know how it works. Like if
just click on it, share your screen. The one thing I would recommend when you're sharing your screen on this thing is to instead of showing your entire screen, just go to Chrome tab and click on the specific one, and then I can add your screen to the live if you like.
Sure. Let me I'll actually try this real quick. I'm gonna flip to all right, I'm doing a share screen, but I don't know if I'm literally basically doxing everything that's on my screen. I can't. You are tell.
You are for a second.
Yeah. But if you send it to, if you send it, can't you send it in the privates? Can't you just send him the link?
Yeah, I just sent him the screenshot. But yeah, this was basically a channel DCC and I were looking at like way back, basically months back. And like usually you don't. It's not very. It's really rare when you see basically things basically expand like outside of the channel they're basically moving in. So you can see recently it blew out of that channel, and then you could actually even see like on Crypto Flippin's tweets like with the like how it looks like on the relative like to the USD price. But it's That's just, it's pretty amazing that
It's really
that
pretty.
actually happened. Like that's
Oh man, it's like, yeah, what is that? I don't
Yeah.
like. I'm not super good with TA, but like, I mean,
it's
obviously
like,
that's
yeah,
bullish. Like, like he's breaking like that out of a channel. Like, what is that?
yeah, it just means like, well, so really, like, whenever somebody, like a channel, usually they're pretty, at least in the crypto markets, like over long periods of time, like like Ethereum, for example, can move in a certain channel that starts to like develop over long periods of time. And like basically what this means, like in the case for CEL, like it basically exceeded this assumed channel, like meaning it could actually, like this, the way you I guess you see like the path of light, basically it could basically be even steeper than what was like originally kind of suggested at the time, which is really good. So it basically invalidated like all TA in a very, very good way.
Yeah,
Like the best
exactly, man. Like, is that
Usually,
that's a
yeah,
pretty steep. That's a like in TA terms, right? If that you're looking,
yeah.
if you were charting any investment, like that's already a pretty steep channel,
Yeah,
right?
and that's usually where people, because this is where it's really like a lot of traders actually get wrecked. Well, yeah, they basically get wrecked for this
Traders
exact
are in
reason,
general.
because what they'll do, like this is why it's like really difficult when there's like certain winners in the market. There's like traders and stuff that try to like do this to try to like,
Yeah.
try to basically get ahead of the market, and then when it doesn't work out, now it's at a higher price than what they may have sold out at, and things like that. So it just kind of goes to show, like, when, like, for winners, basically it's you just hold on to that, like early stages, like
I
all that,
wouldn't
'cause
recommend. Yeah,
yeah.
you guys both would probably feel the same way. Like, I mean, obvious, like, yeah, I wouldn't recommend anyone try to trade CEL. Like, it's like one of the worst things,
right.
one of the worst
So,
cryptos you could try to trade. Like,
yeah, and
Yeah.
this is just like like a good exit, because there's definitely like, because I recall, like, I do like to watch like other people's videos on YouTube, and I recall like when CEL was hovering like near the top of the channel, like people were being bearish, and then it just basically blew up and out of the channel, and then now like they're flipping their like flipping back to the bullish side. So now they're having to figure out a way to basically buy back their bags at a higher price.
so what's the support right now? Like, if we, because what you'd like to see, I guess, in TA terms, is you'd like to see it come back down and turn that into support, right?
Yeah, so that's like, okay, so that's like one of the, that's like in the ideal sense, like that's usually how things are like assumed to work out, which is true to like an extent. It's just like in TA terms, like the support level, it's like it's like you're kind of guessing at where you think the support level can be. Like it could actually be higher than what you expect. So it doesn't quite hit like the levels that you want, things like that. So yeah, as soon as like you see like really any, the best I've seen is like for anybody that's just looking for long-term holds, is like as soon as you start to get dips, like you just start basically buying into it, and then you just hold on to it. Like you don't try to like sell, like try to like get like the perfect like entries. Like that just doesn't work. Like it's just with how well like the markets have been doing recently, especially Bitcoin, Ethereum, CEL's like it's like the top. I think CEL is actually the top.
Let's
coin.
Yeah, we should call out. Well, I mean, everyone already knows this. Most people already know this, but we should call out Coin Market Cap on here, just to the shenanigans that they're trying to pull on CEL. Like, I know they pull it on a lot of coins, but it's just, it's pretty bad. Like, man, like just the fact that, first of all, like we've talked about this before, like, not putting the whole circulating supply, right? And this is the thing that long term, and we've talked about this in the past, this is going to be so good for CEL long term. I was actually doing some math on this later. Like, CEL could hit levels a lot higher than it might have because of this. So like, because at $100 CEL with this suppressed circulating supply, like on Coin Market Cap, our actual billions would only be like, what is it showing for CEL for the circulating supply?
Look at that shit right there.
83.
for the
Yeah,
week.
that's insane.
Yeah, click on the 7-day. See, this is what I've been looking
Now they
at.
show it.
Now they show it. So
Wow.
it's kind of 50-50, honestly. Like they do show it sometimes, and then sometimes I'll click and they don't show it. But yeah, anyways, if you look at what's the circulating supply? 238 or 2? I can't see it. It's kind of 238. Yeah. So imagine this, like $100 sell, right? We're only at 23 billion market cap. Like at $100, we're still only at 23 billion, which, you know, it sounds like a lot, but it's not. Like in terms of, you know, obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum in this bull run, like think about how much higher they're going to go, and think about like other coins, even like you think about like,
that's the kind of chart you like to see right there when you get into a coin. He's like up and to the right.
Yeah, I mean it's rare to recommend or not recommend anything, but because it's not financial advice, but it's rare to like be, you know, kind of talking with friends and family and still saying, you know, like just to get in because there's no way to know when this is going to stop, right? And when it stops, it's going to be temporary. So even though it's a steep chart, like usually wouldn't say like get in on a chart like that, but what is someone supposed to do? Wait, like, you know, it could keep running up to $7, and it's just you kind of got to get in at some point.
You got to get your fucking bag. I mean, literally, it's get your fucking bag. I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like the way Celsius is set up, it's it has like a model that like a lot of the top stocks do, like in the equities market, as far as like having the ability to like buy back. Like it has a really unique like it's very it's a really good model for like a crypto business, and then just basically using that like to your advantage to basically accrue value over time. It's really good. And like if you look at the like in the stock market, this is why like
buyback stocks are the top performers in the stock market, right? Like they're the ones that perform overall. Like they tend to perform a lot better than ones that don't do buybacks, obviously, right?
Yeah. What's really interesting is like actually what would be really interesting is seeing like some of the top index, like in the equities market, like the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ. And then actually that's something I may even look into, is finding out like how many of those do some form of buyback. Because generally like those are the index that perform the best like over long periods of time. But basically like an example, that's why I'm really interested in seeing like how things develop over the entire bull market cycle. Because the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a snapshot of this is actually like the S&P 500 index, and it just kind of goes to show like you can have very long stretches where there's not really like any real dip space. I mean, you get like dips, but they're not like
you get a lot. You don't see crypto dips. Like that's the thing. I think anyone that's expecting CEL to drop to like crazy low levels, like because the thing is like but in any other like in the 99% of cryptos, if you saw like that chart, you'd be expecting a 70 to 80% correction. But like with CEL, just because there's an actual business model that's profitable, we're just not going to see that. I don't think. Like I wouldn't bet on it. You're going to see corrections because that's healthy, right? But you're not going to see these like massive dropbacks because the buyback for CEL, I mean, it keeps going, right? Like it's I don't know what it was this week, but I think it was 1.5 million, right, in 7 days. So that's like a lot of legitimate actual business model, you know, value, right?
Yeah, and the thing is like for a lot of or I guess even just to do like I'll actually revisit what you were just saying, Plan C, but like the chart Litecoin has, this is just a screenshot of like the top pairs like in the S&P 500 index, and you can see basically there's very long stretches where before you even get dips, and usually dips like in the equities market, they're not that bad. They're not even like, I don't even really consider them like real, like there's a lot of panic and chaos. I'm like, this is a joke compared to like what you see like in crypto and stuff with like 80 to 90% crashes with like Bitcoin or Ethereum. So really interesting. And like the other thing is there's not like this since a lot of the liquidity is like through Uniswap, you don't have like these exchanges that are like basically dumping like all these coins like onto the market, onto their clients. Like it just has it's way better for just long-term growth.
Yeah, that's very true, right? Like there isn't these third party people that have a lot of CEL that don't have CEL's interests in mind. Like there isn't like a bunch that can just be dumped, right? Like obviously you have whales that can sell because they got in super early, right? That's always going to be the case. But there isn't these like guys that like exchanges and stuff that have a bunch that are just that don't care about CEL, that are just going to dump it on the market just to for whatever reason. Like you're not going to see that. So it's so scarce. Like to have a project this early on that their token is already this scarce, I think it's pretty rare, like to see.
Yeah, and that's usually like the thing with like a lot of coins that get listed on like Coinbase or something is I'm sure like Brian at Coinbase or whoever gets like they basically get like a free bat. So there's like no like on them there's like no like real skin in the game basically. So it's very easy for those kind of people to just completely annihilate things like the price, and then basically there's like a huge like distribution, and then it's very easy for even exchanges to like manipulate the price to their advantage, since they have access to seeing like what everybody else is doing. So I would say like pretty much like the entire growth of like Celsius just continues to prove like how powerful like Uniswap is, and because if anything, like I know a while back there was like kind of talks of like things like Binance listings and all that, but that'd be something more interesting, like if the exchange actually pays like over the counter deals for like tokens or something, so that there's basically kind of like that incentive for them to like hold things like that. So so far like it's done amazing just trading like through Uniswap, like incredible.
Celebrate all right.
Is there a way to send you to send you guys anything like
what?
Just a file or whatever? Like how would I send it through the private chat here? Because I'm not seeing a way to add a file through the private.
Yeah, I always pay like it was easier with the charts because it redirects it to the
you can
link.
share your screen too, man. Just share your screen, just upload it, and then from there just share it and stuff, and then we will be able to put it up there.
If I share my screen, it's not going to show it's just going to show my screen. Okay.
Yeah, because when you hit share screen button, there's going to be there's three things: entire screen, application window, Chrome tab. You hit Chrome tab, and then you just specifically basically just pick what you want to show, and it's only going to show that.
Okay.
We're like on Zoom. There's like fucking no way not to show everything.
So I can select. So yeah, that's cool. So if I let's see here. So if I click share screen, share screen. Yeah, let's just try it because there's things I wouldn't mind sharing throughout this whole thing. But let me see if I can. Yeah, keep going, guys. I think I have to change my my preferences because it's.
Yeah, what's up?
It's gonna take a second. How's it going, voice?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm just at my parents' house for New Year's, so just nothing to do, So just watching the stream basically.
What time is it for you there?
It's 8 p.m. So I just got like maybe a 1 hour nap in before, so hopefully I can stay up for like a full 24 hours. Support you guys.
Is that a Trump doll in the corner?
Yeah, it is. It's a dog toy.
It's a dog toy.
The dog toy.
That's beautiful.
Sorry, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we had a Hillary one too, but
oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, my mom thinks American politics are stupid, so let the dogs rip it up.
As do all Americans. Thank you.
But yeah, like one guy in the chat was asking like if you should sell, and I was like, definitely not, man. Like if you just look at the macro like chart of CEL, the biggest dip they had was back in March, and other than that, it's just a constant step up. And these like they'll have 20 to 30% dips, but it's not like in an instant. It'll bleed over like a week or two, but then it instantly goes up back up. And I think that's what we had a couple times whenever that big whale was selling like 2 million per week, right? Back
Right.
from like July all the way until September. I was hodling that whole time, and I was like, why am I like why am I holding this coin? It's not moving at all, right? But then like maybe a week or two before, I think it was you or Kevin. It's like, yeah, there's been a big whale just selling a bunch of tokens. Like,
Oh, right. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and, like,
Isn't it kind of weird to think back on that time? You're like, fuck, man, I should just bought more. What the fuck am I doing?
yeah.
I know we had such a long time
That's
at
so
40 cents,
Yeah.
right? Like this, it was there forever. And like the thing is, like, yeah, to anyone in the chats, like, I mean, obviously we can talk about all the reasons why I wouldn't sell right now, but not financial advice. But I mean, the reality is there's so many, like, we're at the precipice of just a whole bunch of things. Like there's a video on YouTube that I can't remember the name right now, but there's a guy that just posted one about 14 reasons why I'm bullish on Celsius, right? And so, yeah, you can look that up on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, or we can link it in the chats there. But there's so many things coming in the near future that would cause like price increase and like legitimate reasons, right? So first of all, the U.S. earning in Celsius, like that's going to be a big boost to the price. Like it really is, because that's right now we're not even at the true value, because we only have 55% of people that live outside the US that are able to earn in Celsius, right? So of all the assets on the CEL app, only 55% are eligible right now to earn in CEL token. And of those people, 80% are earning in CEL. So the true actual amount of people earning in CEL is 80%, but right now, like our price is based on 43% or 45%. So right there, you have pretty much, almost a doubling in the price, because the buyback's going to double. So as soon as that's lifted, and not to say that it's going to be the full 80%, because it's only accredited investors, right? So it's not like every asset in the US is going to be accredited, but a lot of it will be, because the accredited investors tend to have a lot more money, obviously, right? So you could see at least 50% of all US assets now freed up because they're accredited. And so that's going to cause a huge influx of increases in the buyback to sell. So that should boost the price up a decent amount. And then obviously you guys know most of this stuff already, or all of this stuff, but we're going to have like this partnership coming. And the thing that I've noticed the last week here is we've had a huge uptick in active wallets, right? So yesterday, I think it was, we had 1,600 or 1,700 new active wallets. And that's huge, because we used to hover around 400 for the longest time. Like we've been, I mean, when CEL was trading at like 40 cents, I think we're getting around 200 to 250 active wallets, right? Like you see higher amounts, right? It depends on what people like when they're looking at stuff, they might get confused, because there's KYC and then there's active wallets, right? So active wallets is basically depositors that are putting in over $10 of actual money into the app. So that number is very good for anyone looking to track, anyone in the chats or anyone in the future that watches this that's looking to track that growth, because that's one of the essential growth indicators for Celsius as a project and the CEL token is to go to @Flippining's Twitter, and he posts every day the increase of the active wallets, right? And so we went from 400 to 750 for a few days, then we went to 999, and yesterday we hit like 1,600. So you're seeing like a 4x growth in the users in the last really few weeks here. And that's I don't know what you guys think are all the reasons for that, but I think moving up the charts, like I've been talking about this we've all been talking about this stuff for a couple months. I've been saying like, we're as soon as we start breaking the top 25, top 20, which now we're top 20 on CoinGecko, we're 17. CoinMarketCap, we're sitting around 21, 22. So we're getting at that point where we're getting so much more visibility. And that's just causing all these people to check out because think about it, like someone's sitting there and they're like, what's this Celsius? Like, because it's not talked about on any of the YouTube channels. Like there's almost no one talking about Celsius. Like if you're just some random guy trying to find projects following YouTubers, you're not going to come across CEL. Like I didn't come across it I was in crypto for such a long time. What's that? Well, yeah, unless you're lucky enough to follow a Moon Gang or follow one of you guys, like that's really, you guys are the only ones putting out content. Like there's a couple guys on YouTube now, but very few people are putting out CEL content, right? So
last 1 or 2 months, right?
Yeah.
How is someone going to come across it? And so they're on CoinMarketCap. They have already their investments, and then they just see this coin screaming up the charts, like
Yeah.
just moving, right? We used to be, when I got into CEL, we were at 130. Right now, we're at 121, or we're at 21. So it's like, I'm like, fuck.
We'll be in the top 10 one day.
Yeah, one day. So it's like, yeah, I mean, that's getting a lot of attention, and I think that influx of users, like right there, why would you be selling a token that just 4x'd its users in the last couple weeks here? So, it's just the beginning. Like, we're going to be seeing consistent, 1,000 a day, 2,000 a day, 5,000 a day. Like, it's just going to keep growing. So
I'm looking at the user count on the app right now.
We gotta get to 100,000 by the end of this year. We're really close. It's going to be tight though. I don't know if
what are we at right now?
I think what's it at, Wasabi?
Oh, for the user, it's getting close to 300K.
Yeah, that's the KYC. That number's growing crazy too.
Yeah, that was like earlier on. I remember, because we're actually kind of we were kind of suggesting it would hit at least like 250,000 by the end of the year, which it's already 14% above that conservative estimate. So you can see it's definitely growing. Like it's
we had
growing
this conversation, right? Like when CEL was at $1.50,
yeah,
we had a chat with ourselves and Kevin, and we made predictions on end of year. We all did this, right? It'd be funny to go back now and see, because you said 250 was what we were all kind of predicting for the KYC end of year.
Yeah, I think it was 250 for KYC. And that was like and that was just like kind of a safe estimate at the time. And then 1 million by the end of 2021, and I think it's going to be more like 750K halfway through 2021, and then 1 million probably sometime during like Q3, maybe end of. I'm just kind of throwing like kind of guesstimates out there, but I wouldn't be surprised to see 1 million sometime, basically maybe shy of like Q4 of 2021 at the rate that it's growing.
KYC,
for KYC.
For KYC, yeah. I think KYC we hit anywhere between.
Yeah,
I think KYC, honestly, we couldn't hit. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say, but I don't know what you guys think, but I'm thinking like 2 to 3 million. I'm thinking 2 to 3 million, honestly, by the end of. I think we can hit 2 to 3 million by the end of next year. I mean, maybe even as much as 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think we could see up to 5 with this partnership as well. This big partnership and many more that are going to come this year. I don't want to lowball CEL anymore. Like, every prediction I've made has been lowballing.
Yeah.
I called 220 for the end of this year for the price, and that was just based on my gut instinct, no math. But I called 220 probably 3 months ago, and now obviously it was way wrong. Right. And then even end of year, there was a guy posting on Twitter, like, put your end of year predictions in. This was like a week ago. I put in 470. So like every estimation has been wrong.
That's hilarious.
So like, and to the low count, right? So it's like, how do you not think it's going to do better than you think, right? So I think I'm gonna go 5 million for end of next year for KYC.
Is that downloads or active users?
That's not active user. That's KYC. Yeah, but active users are a different conversation. But roughly right now we're at about a third, right, of the numbers. So we're definitely going to hit 1 million active wallets by the end of next year. I could see 2. I could see even 2 million.
We're going to do a parabolic run in terms of like. So let's just do the big baseline number, which is the downloads, right? Because that's kind of like the first number people see on the app. Let me just log in real quick.
What are we at? Sorry, Sabi, I cut you off, but sorry about that. What are you at? What are we at for active wallets right now on the app?
For active wallets, actually,
because we're getting close. It's, you scroll down in the community section there, and I think we're around like 98, 90, maybe even 99.
That's right.
We're getting close to hitting 100K here.
We're at 285. At 285,000 members. That's the big number and stuff, not the actual wallet.
It'll probably hit 100K sometime during DC stream.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah, I'd like to see it. It's a big milestone, right? To have 100,000 people that have actually deposited in the app, like that's to have a project that has like actual adoption, right? Because there's a ton of people that are invested with crypto projects that have zero adoption, and it's just all like future speculation, right?
Right.
About what could come, and that's the thing. Like, you guys have probably invested or been in projects like you know, I was in EOS and just like no adoption, like no actual user adoption. Like you'd have these apps built out on the like I would check out some of the apps on EOS, and they'd have like 10 people on this app or like 100 people. Like just no adoption, right? So it's
Cardano.
yeah, I mean, there's so many projects that have.
Funny one. I was just talking to Voice about that a couple hours ago.
Actually, yeah. We were in a call together, and I think it's probably
Cardano still has like no adoption at all. Like it's all just tech. Like they're not getting any adoption yet.
Cardano, I mean, it's just you just go on there and like there's nothing going on the chain. Basically,
to be a top 10 crypto and have no like zero. I mean, because it's not like they can use the excuse like it's a new project. Like I mean, with Polkadot, like I don't know enough about Polkadot, but Polkadot is pretty new, right? Like they were working on it for years, but like they still like Polkadot has had less time than Cardano to get adoption. Like Cardano's been around for a long time, and it's to have no adoption yet is just like. Yeah, I'm not going to bash any other projects, but
I will say this though. I will gladly take their money on the app.
Well, yeah, I mean for sure. Like, and not to say they can't get adoption. I mean, there's a lot of people working on it. We got a lot of good developers and stuff. But
these guys are already trying to get me to take coffee already.
Yeah, it's I'll like kind of at least like I mean. Actually, you know what? I'm just not going to say anything. I'm just not going to say anything. I think it'll do well, like price wise, this cycle. But
still the third. I think it's just the thing about Cardano, like what you guys, I don't know what you guys would say, but Cardano's still like probably the third best Web3 platform, right? Like I'd say Polkadot's 2 at this point, and Ethereum still the leader, right? Would you guys agree? Like Cardano's probably 3. I don't know what you guys would put ahead of him. Would you put anyone else?
It's a pretty big like gap between 2 and 3 because like Polkadot has like a ton of stuff. Like it is actually going to have like there's real stuff being developed on Polkadot. Whereas for Cardano, like it's more, it's hard to know exactly like what is going to happen on Cardano. Let's say during the maybe second half of 2021, because their target market has mostly been, I think, mostly Africa, and there's supposed claims that there's a lot of stuff going on, which maybe that does pan out, and I hope I really hope all the best for like any ADA holders. Like I hope you do really well, but at the same time, like I just look at the present time with like what information's available. Like you have Ethereum as like the kind of the market leader, and then Polkadot there's like a lot of stuff you can find like online much easier. And I didn't quite see the same like on the ADA side, but I could be wrong on that. But I'm not gonna bet on that. I
guess right now, if you were to put in a ranking in terms of which like systems are actually have the most projects and everything, of course Ethereum number 1, right? Polkadot, Polkadot Kusama, that'd be number 2. I think number 3 is fucking Cosmos.
Yeah,
okay, yeah, you guys, I can see that for sure.
I've been seeing more articles about that interoperability for Cosmos coming up.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. RSR, people sleeping on fucking RSR, which I think one day will be added on to Celsius. This is the beauty of Celsius. Come on, bring your economic energy onto the platform.
Yeah. The RSR, that's a really I didn't realize how it's pretty interesting like what RSR is trying to do. There was actually a really long conversation Plan C and I had that kind of like keyed into like what RSR's like long-term goals really are. I guess the thing like with some of the coins right now, because I guess in terms of like speculation, like short term to mid-term, there's also like people are also going to be hesitant on selecting which coins because of all the stuff that happened with Ripple recently. So there just might be like speculation whether it's right or wrong as to what coins they think are more likely to be deemed like things like securities and whatnot. So
I
In
actually
terms
got
of
a,
like,
I
mhm,
actually got an email from Femex saying they're going to delist XRP.
yeah.
Oof.
I'm kind of
Oof. I mean, the people who jumped. So the people who got life rafted off the Titanic, which was XRP, was literally the guys who were like, "Yo, I'm gonna speculate into XRP on the Celsius app," and then we're like, "Yo, why don't I just buy Cell token?"
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Dude, damn man, that's so rough, dude. I feel bad because like I know
Yeah.
they didn't want to like liquidate anybody, but like, fuck, man.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks. Like, it really sucks what happened to them. Like, I mean, if you kind of look at it in terms of the market, like, there's a lot of people, speculating on XRP, and it just kind of goes against like the whole. I mean, I don't want to turn this into like a political thing, but there's like these arguments like that the SEC is trying to like protect the retail investors, and they literally just wrecked them like hard.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you
right?
literally just annihilated the retail investors, but you're gonna claim that you're there to like protect them. Like, it's unbelievable. So
Oh,
I'm not gonna go any
look at this, Daniel. Ben Cohen took a rare L, telling people to be bullish on XRP, and David Toohey for the.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Dude, everyone's wrong.
Well,
once in a while.
but that's the thing. Honestly, if the SEC announcement didn't happen, like, XRP was gonna launch. Like,
Yeah,
it was
it
gonna
was
do what
starting
it was
to,
gonna
right?
it was gonna do. It's like, like it just does like a green candle to the moon out of nowhere. Like, it was setting up for one of those, and then that bomb basically was dropped. And then now it just reset. Like, it's terrible because like now, if it has a chance, like, I don't know, I'm not speculating on XRP. I'm not gonna speculate on XRP, but for somebody that is, they're gonna have to wait a really long time for that to maybe like happen again. So like you're now at like more uncertainty. Like, it's just nuts to think about.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
listen.
man, because like in 2017, right? Like that, some of the moves that XRP when it launched, like it passed Ethereum there for a while, right? Remember, like it can XRP, like it was looking like you just said, Wasabi, is it had some big pumps in the last couple of weeks, and it was looking like it could continue just with retail money coming in, the low unit bias, and then just to tank like that. I mean, there could be people that literally just got into crypto. Could you imagine your first experience in crypto? So you're like, you come in. And you're like, okay, what am I going to buy here? And this happened to a lot of people, probably, right?
Yeah.
It's super unfortunate because imagine how turned off you would be of crypto. So you come in, and maybe you buy the top, like because it did pump quite a bit, right? So you come in, you're like, oh, this one's only at like 50 cents, 70 cents. I'm going to buy this one, and then like a week later, a couple of days later, you're down 50%.
Yeah,
like it's just insane to think about, man. New retail just could have got absolutely destroyed on that move.
Yeah,
like,
and then you sell because you're freaking out. You think you're going to go to zero. You just sell everything. You just lost half your money in a week.
Plus, like, it's being spread on like social media, like TikTok and Instagram, like Reels and stuff. Like, the XRP is gonna fucking moon. I think that's how people are getting wrecked a lot too. Like, bringing people in. So I think that's one bad thing. Like, people that don't know crypto and they're just looking at the price, but they don't understand what crypto is. It's wrecking them, and then it's just turning off younger generation. And I think that's bad, for crypto.
Yeah.
You don't want anyone being turned off, right? Like, that's the thing, because I look at it like this. Like, even if someone starts in a bad project, like, I mean, I bet you if you went through like the top 200 guys, it'd be a funny thing to do in the future, is like go through some of the guys in the top 200 and be kind of, what were you guys' initial coins you were holding before you held Celsius or before you held like Bitcoin, right? Or whatever ETH. Because I guarantee you there's a ton of guys in the top 200 that initially when they were in really bad projects. And the thing is, like, I was in EOS, which I consider at this point a borderline scam with what's happened with EOS. Like, me and Dollar Cost Crypto talked about this, but I'm at the point now, like, looking back, I'm like, yeah, I think this was a bleed out scam. It was a scam. Like, EOS, the amount of money they raised and what they've done to actually build out the platform is like, the SEC. I know they already settled it, but looking back, man, They basically took my money from the ICO and they bought Bitcoin on their treasury. Like Block.one as a company is an absolute scam company. Like it's brutal. Like looking back, like Block.one should be prosecuted because to basically hype up, like they hyped up EOS for the longest time, raise $5 billion, and then you go buy Bitcoin with all that money and you don't build out your platform. Like how have they not done anything with EOS? EOS has been bleeding out for literally the last year, 2 years. Like it's just disgraceful. Like people say, oh, it's not a scam because like the guys didn't leave, but I mean, essentially at this point, anyways, it's a wrap. But essentially, like looking back, like I'm actually like it's funny because now that I understand like obviously a lot more about investing, looking back, I'm like, I actually was in a bit of a scam.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's obviously not like a BitConnect scam, but it's a borderline scam project.
I'm shocked that these people can't do anything. Like, dude, you give me $1 billion, I can create a token, bro. I'm a good one at that, and I'll have the marketing to get it to pop and like crazy.
When's the last time you heard about EOS anywhere? Anywhere, like nothing. Like,
Nothing.
It's crazy. It's just like, what are they doing? Like, there's no adoption on the app or on the
voice
platform. Nothing.
Well, I could probably tell you they probably cashed it out into Bitcoin.
They did. No, they did. They have 140. They have 140,000 Bitcoin. So like they're one of the top. If you look at the Bitcoin Treasury website, they're basically the top of anyone besides like Grayscale and stuff, right? But they have like 140,000 Bitcoin, and that's not even their whole treasury. They have US bonds and US dollars, the cash. Like they're sitting on like $15 to $20 billion right now, and their project sucks. Like they have more money. They have more money on their balance sheet. This is the thing. Block.one.
Why are you being so harsh, bro? It's just the dead chain. Why are you being so harsh, man?
No, it's brutal. I put a lot of money into their ICO, man. Like I put almost all my a lot of money. So like, which I'm happy because I found a sell through it. So I'm grateful for that reason. But look at it. Like they have more money on their balance sheet than every single crypto. If you combine every single crypto, Block.one has more money than every single crypto. They do. They have more money. If you add up all the balance sheets of every crypto, the EOS has more. It's just nuts. Yeah. But yet they can't even get in the top 10. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's why I went all in on Tron, bro.
How to trigger plan C. Talk about EOS.
Vietnam flashbacks. Beautiful. What's up, Kevin? Oh, and he muted. No.
I'm all good, I think, on just voice. I think voice is good.
Beautiful.
Hopefully I'm getting some people to flip over from EOS to sell on
that EOS rant was real. I like it.
Hopefully we
Hated that voice.
but the thing is, I'm not worried because there's no one on the app with EOS. Like I haven't seen anyone in any of the chats. Like so yeah, it's not like EOS has
You were the only one. You were the only one. You were just there on your own.
Oh man.
Plan C, just drop your dead bags, man. Just drop your dead EOS bags.
I bet he's still got him. He's still hot.
We all know you got some on the sell app. You're trying to make your
waiting
back.
Oh man, no, it's well, dollar cost can relate because he held EOS as well. But I think he got out at a better time. He was smarter with his EOS investment. He used it more as a trade, I think, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't even know what it was. It just everyone was like, I had played it safe for most of 2017, and then the last 2 months it got me. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna shit coin trade. Let's go. And I jumped into EOS like at $5, and then I just literally within a week or 2 weeks it just shot up to like $20, and then it's $28, and then I just kept playing those wicks, and I cleaned up on EOS real good. But
do you guys remember the sorry to interrupt all the costs. Do you remember the it was this is so crazy to think about. Do you remember the airdrops were a massive thing for a while? So EOS, one of their marketing things was they were going to have thousands of airdrops. Oh, if you hold EOS, you're going to get thousands of airdrops. You're going to be getting airdrops forever. You're going to be getting, and I was like, oh, this is insane. Like I was, so hyped about it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to just be living off these. I'm just going to keep cashing in these airdrops, like every project that comes on, because they had a project called like Everpedia, which is like basically a blockchain version of Wikipedia, right? And so EOS announced they were partnering with Everpedia, and they did a an airdrop, and I got like a good amount of money from it. So I'm like, oh, if this continues, like I'm just gonna clean up. There's a guy. This is the worst call in the history of crypto, like the absolute worst call. I'll send him. I'll somehow get him to get this link to you in the future. But there's a guy that called EOS hitting $1,000, and based on the airdrop math, he made a 5-minute. I think he left crypto after this. He made like a 5-minute hype video about how EOS was going to hit $1,000 when EOS was running up to $20 based on the airdrops, and he did like he had this whole model and like went off for 5 minutes, just full hype, like Moon Boy, like basically. To the level of stuff we talk about with like projects that are legit, he was talking about with EOS and $1,000 EOS, and like just it couldn't have been more wrong. Like, anyways, yeah, the airdrop thing never really ended up being a big thing like at all. Like, I mean, some projects still do airdrops, but it's not like a thing where you can hold a platform and just live on airdrop dividends forever.
That's why I was trading it in the first place, because like once I made the original, like once it went to $28, I sold out, but I was like. What got me to keep trying to play the wicks up and down on EOS, and the only reason you can even do that on stuff is when there's extreme volatility. When there's less volatility, it's more of a guessing game, really, because you can get really wrecked. So I mean, I just got lucky, but I was doing it so I can get more EOS, so I could get a bigger amount of airdrops during the time. And this is important. This is kind of the reason this is so important, is to show you what a good token is and what a bad token is, because the beauty of like something like a CEL token is I can just hold it for some people hold it for price appreciation of the token, but a lot of people are going to hold this token for income generation and like actual income generation, because this whole ecosystem actually like Celsius generates a lot of cash, man, for real. And their yield, it's a hard-working coin, but Celsius is out here working these streets, and something like EOS is just out there like just dead on its ass. It's fucking bullshit. But yeah, those airdrop, the whole math was like, if I have 1,000 coins, that means I'll have like $1,000 when we get an airdrop, or I'll have like $250 per airdrop or something.
It was a 1-to-1 ratio with a lot of these coins, and I was like, man, if I can get to 10,000 EOS. Like the amount of dividends I'm going to be getting on these airdrops, I was just doing the math on it at the time, and I was just so hyped. And look back, it's just insane. Like now, I mean, I'm not going to give specific numbers, but I would be a massive EOS whale, and that's just because I've been holding Bitcoin and CEL for a while, and just nice, look at that.
Wow, nice.
Just imagine this, right?
Look at the user growth on CEL right now.
Just imagine this, right? So what did EOS? They 4 million, yeah, at the ICO.
They raised 4 to 5 million. It was ridiculous.
Right?
Because they did a 1-year ICO, a 1-year-long ICO.
80 times more than Celsius raised, right? So then Celsius cashed out their ICO money at half the price they got it. So 160 times the funds of. Just imagine Celsius had 160 times the funds. What they if Celsius raised the money that Block.one raised, we would already be like literally like a crazy Van Eck. Just imagine if Celsius had done their ICO at the start of the bull run. Just imagine what they would have raised. It would have been utterly astronomical, and a plus appreciation, right? Because Celsius did that in the bear market pretty much. So just imagine what they could have done.
Oh, it's just insane. Like, and think about this. Like, for anyone that held ETH in like the end of 2017. A massive reason why ETH went down was because of Block.one. They sold $4 billion worth of ETH. They dumped it on the market for weeks on end. They were just dumping their ETH. They played their treasury. The only thing they've done well is play their treasury. They literally were liquidating Ether at an insane rate for weeks on end. And so how is Ether supposed to maintain those price levels at 1,300 when they have Block.one literally jumping millions and millions of coins on the market on a daily basis for weeks? And so they liquidated because they raised their entire amount of money they raised was in ETH. So imagine raising $4 to $5 billion in ETH and then just dumping it on the market over a 6-month period.
I totally forgot
that sell pressure. That sell pressure was nuts. Like they drove down the ETH price single-handedly.
But for weeks of massive red candles, watching it drive down and down and down, and then everyone else started doing it at the same time. I
think they could have triggered a big part of the end of the cycle. Like that dumping could have triggered, and then they stuck it all in Bitcoin, or like a huge percentage of it in Bitcoin.
Yo, Plancy came out here to break some fucking knees, bro. He came to kill EOS. Like, I'm gonna fucking do an indictment on these.
Well, no, because it's funny when you don't realize that you've because it goes from being like, okay, I made a bad investment and being mad at yourself, which I was for a long time. And the thing is, because I feel like I've made good choices now with holding Bitcoin and CEL and having my 1 ETH, which I have. My 1 ETH, but yeah, it's just my 1 ETH. So I'm diversified into my 1 ETH. So like, yeah, just the fact that I feel good about what I have now, and just the fact that I lost 50% of my initial funds because of that project, and the fact that, yeah, just the fact that I, looking back, like I went from being mad at myself lately to being like, no, this was a scam, man. And I think because like, and looking what's happened to Ripple now. EOS was way worse, 100 times worse. EOS is so much worse than what Ripple's done. I feel like anything that Ripple's done, how is EOS not getting indicted? Like they paid off the SEC to give him 20 million, right? But they shouldn't have. That shouldn't have happened. Like they should have actually been like those guys should be getting arrested, man. If you really look into that project, it's probably one of the most outrageous projects in all of crypto for violating SEC rules.
How many individual investors? How many people invested in that?
There's 100,000 people, man. There's a good
hunted down.
No. I think there is a class action lawsuit actually. But, yeah.
God damn. Like, literally, a lot of these scams, like people just go after them and just kidnap them and
they walk away as billionaires, like Brandon Bloomer and Dan Larimer. Like Dan Larimer created
$4 billion. It's just nuts. This is nuts money. Crazy.
Yeah.
4 billion.
And to get away with it too, right? To get away with it, it's ridiculous. But we can talk about someone else. I don't think there's anyone that's going to watch this stream holding EOS anyways, because I don't even know who's holding EOS at this point. But Celsius is on the verge of passing EOS in the rankings, so I'm looking forward to seeing that.
With a $20 million raise, they passed the 4 billion. EOS competition over.
Game over, yeah. Oh man.
Should we talk a little bit about Tether?
Yeah, what's going on with Tether?
Oh yeah,
because it's pretty relevant to Celsius actually, since they own a little bit of the company. Which I said this since the beginning. That was a fucking lateral move right there. That was a smart. I think Tether knew what was popping out here in these streets and shit. So they were diversifying themselves into other assets and companies. So that may have been the best purchase of the year, dude. Tether buying a piece of Celsius. I think that was probably one of the best investments of all time.
Let me do some moon math on that while you're talking. I'll do some moon math on that equity purchase. All right, I'm going to do it now.
Yeah, because what percentage did they get of the equity? They got 5% or something.
10.
Yeah, like 5 or 6%.
Yeah, they bought that.
Equity's going to be worth so much money, man. That equity.
If I could have gotten the equity, I would have bought so much, dude. Fucking, god damn it! You find out usually it's the U.S. is pretty one of the best places to be in, right? But like you really, man, try to move more than $10,000 around. It sucks. And then they're like, "Hey, voice my ambition. Where'd you get this $10,000 right here? Hey, where you can't to move money around the system. Like if to send like $100 to somebody, $200, it's a-okay. But like as soon as there's like 4 zeros at the end of that number, it's like, hey, what are you doing, son, with your own money? That's not right, But yeah,
I heard from a friend, like if you're a U.S. resident, if you can get enough people to put together funds to retain a lawyer, you can get into ICOs or stuff like that.
Probably, yeah. I mean, everything, the money fixes everything.
Look at this boom math, right? So that 10 billion investment, right? So if the Celsius is worth 10 billion, right? Let's say 10 billion, yeah. So conservative, right? That's 833. Jesus Christ, this is nuts. And I bet they got a better buy-in price than we did as well, because they bought so much. So let's say it's worth 20 billion, which is fairly conservative in the long term. That's going to be well over 1.5 billion.
10 million to 1.5 billion.
Yeah,
because it was
in 5 years.
They 100x. They 100x or more.
Yeah, that's 166x.
Jeez.
So
yeah,
if
the valuation was pretty low, right?
I reckon it can go to 40 billion, like within the next 5, 6, 7 years or whatever. That would be a 3.3 billion, 333 times their money. That's what I think they're going to get, something like that out of it.
It makes sense. I totally see that.
Forget doing exchanges, Tether, just bin it all. Like, that's it. That's enough. Billions and billions and billions. Mad. That is crazy.
And you don't think there's any way that they can come after that, eh? Like, because it's separate from, like, yeah. Anyways, like, because we don't know what's going to happen with Tether. Tether might be completely fine. Who knows what's going to happen, right? But yeah, I guess it's a separate thing, right? It's a separate part of their company, so they're probably all right.
How do you sue an entity that can just print more money to pay whatever loan fucking thing?
Yeah,
charging them?
Exactly.
That'd be hella funny if the government says, "All right, you guys owe us $100 million in this," and they just go, and you just see on the on the whale bots, 100 million Tether just been
They pretty much turned that 10 billion into $500 million already, pretty much, just in the equity values today, right now.
Nothing but that.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
So I was watching I rarely go like on YouTube now, but I was watching a Crypto Crow video, and he was talking about ADA on like bringing ADA on the Celsius app, and supposedly he's getting a chat set up between Alex and Charles, and they wanted him as like a moderator for them too. Do you guys know anything about that?
That's amazingly good. Like, the one beautiful thing about Celsius is it unlocks the economic energy of a different ecosystem and stuff, right? So it's such a cool thing. So imagine you have this gated, enclosed community with not that many financial services, and then you bring them into a place where they become a community. So it's like, imagine, like, it's like basically Celsius is economic Polkadot in a way. Where like interoperability, where you like, then people can start taking loans out on their Cardano without selling, which would then from there that takes selling pressure away from Cardano and stuff.
Yeah, so, and that video came out 17 hours ago, so that's pretty recent, right?
Yeah,
so it'd be interesting if we actually see a chat between Charles and Alex within the next
month or so. It's gonna happen.
Oh, you've been hearing about it, Kevin?
Yeah, Alex announced it, didn't he? He already talked about it. It's going to happen.
Oh, really?
Charles said he'll do it. Well, they're going to do it.
Yeah. So you want
I know Crypto Crow, he's been like a big ADA fan for the longest time. So like I rarely watch him, but just the one time I heard about Alex, and I was like, oh, wow.
He's probably the best YouTube channel on YouTube to find out information about like recent information about Cardano, because Charles goes on Crypto Crow's channel all the time. Like,
he's been on there a few times.
Yeah, they're kind of well, not buddies, but they're kind of like, you know, kind of partner each other. Yeah. You know something that was trippy actually. So when the way I first got into Celsius, I don't know, I've said this, you guys probably already know this, but the first time I ever got into Celsius was I went to the 2019 Litecoin conference out in Las Vegas. I think it was in August, or it was 2018 or 2019, one of those years. And I go out like there's a bunch of booths out here, and there's this big Celsius thing, right? So I was like, I go there and basically I'm just over here talking to Alex Mashinsky and not knowing who Alex Mashinsky is from Celsius. And the reason I even bring that up is because that's how I first found out about it. But what reminded me about it months later was I was going through a Crypto Crow YouTube channel looking for information on Cardano, and then it was like a super old interview in 2018 that the Crypto Crow did with Alex. And I was like, oh shit, Celsius Network. Yeah. It was funny because I saw my fiance. My fiance was wearing a Celsius shirt while I was like I was on my phone looking for videos and stuff, and then I look up and I'm like, oh yeah, that company. So I click on it, and then my mind exploded. I was like, oh my Lord Christ, there's a coin. So I owe Crypto Crow that right there, because he kind of reminded me again about Celsius. You know, yeah.
It looks like the ADA interviews on the 4th. Paul is saying in the chat.
On the 4th? Ooh, beautiful.
Supposedly, that's the earliest date for pair chain testing on Rococo testnet.
Coincidence? I think not.
It's nice to have a founder of your project who gets along with pretty much everyone, that's reasonable and can do interviews and like is actually like very good socially. Like there's a lot of guys that just can't do these kind of interviews and be professional and be engaging and actually like create good conversations with anyone, right? Which Alex can do. So it's just nice because unless someone's paid off for from someone else, there's no one that's not going to get along with him, and there's no one that's not going to want to work together with him. Like, and the thing is like, we might see this in this market cycle here. We might see like other coins using Celsius for their treasury, because I know Litecoin, they have their treasury on the CEL app, right?
Forever.
Sure. Yeah.
For all
and that's so smart, because imagine you take your treasury, you put it in a USDC or a good stable coin, you put it on the CEL app. Now this is the thing. If a crypto project has a few $1 million, right, that they've built up from raising money, ICO, or in the past raising money some way, what they can do is they can earn 11% on stable coins on the app or whatever, and just their treasury is just growing exponentially, and they're not risking anything, right? Because remember in the ICO boom, like if Celsius was around, remember how mismanaged the treasuries were of these ICO companies? Like they were basically becoming speculative hedge funds on shit coins. Like if you look back, there's so many ICO raises that raised because they didn't know what they were doing. Like these projects raised like 10, 20 million, 5 million even, and they're like, oh, and that was during the bull run. So you could pretty much hold any crappy coin and you're gonna make money. But then when everything crashed, these treasuries just disappeared. These like projects, if they would have stuck that, if Celsius was around and they just stuck that on the app in stable coins and then just earned the crazy high rates, and then like in the future we could see this, right, where those companies, right? So if you have another crypto that has a treasury of whatever 10 million, they would have to either be gifted from Celsius. Like if Celsius is in a partnership with them, they can say like, okay, we'll give you guys some CEL so you can earn the higher rates on the app, or they have to go buy them on the open market, right? You have like crypto project treasuries that are storing millions of dollars on the CEL app in stable coins, but then they have to go buy 20% of that in CEL so they can earn the higher rates. Because why wouldn't they, right? Like why wouldn't they get the higher rates on the app? Then they can get like 13% on their treasury. Imagine getting a guaranteed risk-free 13% on your treasury, and you have millions of dollars.
Right, and but yeah, this is why like Celsius is so important and stuff. But like, let me like at least explain to you like the cycle of what happened with the because not all, they were all speculating, but all of them were true believers in Ethereum, and they got fucked essentially for being true believers in Ethereum. So these ICOs funds, if at least the ones that didn't go full degenerate, held most of their funds in Ethereum, because that was the ecosystem money. That was what they wanted to hold. Well, and then you ended up having you have the ICO projects that actually held their treasury in Ethereum. Then you had these scam tokens that essentially cashed out of Ethereum. So you had this weird thing where like the scam tokens and a lot of the bad players in the ecosystem actually got rewarded because they actually sold into cash and retained their value more than the actual ICO, more than the actual good projects in Ethereum. So when everything crashed and stuff, there was actually quite a few good projects that should have made it, but their bankroll went away, and then that was it, essentially. And then the reason we had a lot of scammers survive is because the scammers actually sold into cash. As fucked up as that is, but now this has created like a fear inside of because like you got to think of it. There's also a psychology too in terms of the ICO projects and the crypto projects in the space now. So now when these projects generate cash, they keep most of their money in stablecoins, not even in their outside of holding their own token. They hold some Ethereum, but they're holding mostly cash. So this is
wouldn't they be mostly holding? I would think like any smart treasury at this point was either going to hold Bitcoin or hold stablecoins.
Right. Well, they're holding some Ethereum too, but they're holding
hold some Ethereum, hold some Ethereum, Bitcoin, and stablecoins. Like any responsible treasury at this point, you're going to go 50% in stablecoins, and then you're going to hold maybe Bitcoin and Ether. But anything outside of that, you're basically like doing a disservice to your investors. Like to hold anything other than that.
Right. It's pretty fucking insane. But this is one of the reasons why like entities like Grayscale have been able just to keep purchasing as much Ethereum as you want. The reason we can like right now isn't it crazy how much Ethereum we can buy right now? Easily. I mean, really easily. Like I remember when I bought into Celsius, like I was buying like small amounts, but I was like, I could easily get my hands on like 100 Ethereum. Right. And the reason that is because the projects that should have been absorbing the supply of Ethereum in their treasuries, which are all these ICO projects, they essentially had to dump them at the market and stuff at that time. So there was a glut. There's a glut of Ethereum in the market, and even now there's actually kind of a glut. And right now the smart institutional money is buying up Ethereum right now. Like it's kind of fun. I see what they're kind of doing. Like and obviously it's really good. So you do this. You have like a little toy for kids. Hey, buy some Bitcoin, while they're over there just stealing the cookie jar of Ethereum on the low and front running everybody before they figure out Ethereum is actually the coin to buy right now.
Yeah, what's going on with Ethereum for the technical change that they proposed? Like I don't understand what it's called exactly, but it's to do with the inflation rate. EIP or was it?
Yeah, EIP 1559.
So do you think that's going to go through, and what timeline would it be, and then what would that mean?
It's probably going to go through before the end of second quarter of next year. Vitalik's actually really a big proponent of it. So I'm like, oh, Vitalik's behind it. It's probably going to fucking pass.
Because that would make Ethereum on par with CEL and Bitcoin as far as like basically not cap supply, but a very low level of inflation to the point where it becomes like a CEL or a Bitcoin where there's just like no supply on the market, right? Plus you have the staking, so you combine the staking with that, and you basically have like good recipe for pumping, right? You can I want to hear your explanation though.
So basically it just adds a little bit of it for every transaction that happens, or every time Ethereum moves, it burns a small smidgen, a dollop of Ethereum that gets burned, right? And it's just a small amount, right? But the thing is as there's more and more transactions on Ethereum, the more that ends up adding to a supply. So right, if they pass it right now, it would probably dampen the inflation on Ethereum by a little bit. But as we were getting into more of like the transactions when we had the DeFi boom earlier this year, it would actually make Ethereum deflationary to neutral. That's kind of the plan on it. And then it's kind of a cool thing where it makes Ethereum, it gives them a sliding scale where they can control the fee. And essentially by controlling that fee, they can essentially choose, because the inflation at Ethereum is almost kind of set in stone for the most part, unless they do a big proposal. So, but by adding this like 1559, essentially they've added a sort of a Fed's fund rate where they can control the inflation better than because all they have to do is like all Vitalik or the fund can do is just increase the fee, and then essentially they start taking the inflation out of the system and making it very deflationary, or they lower it down and make it inflationary. So they can essentially control the total supply of Ethereum very easily now when that passes. So they can make Ethereum. Like right now we're 113 million Ethereum in circulation. Over time, they could end up lowering it down. If they really boost up the thing, let's just say like, you know what, let's make this thing. Let's just increase the price really high. They just add a little bit They just increase it by a 4 or 5x of what they have, and then over time, the total supply could go to a flat 100 million.
So then, would you say dollar cost like? That would be a reason. So based on that information now, and based on the fact that that's most likely going to go through, that would be another reason for someone to, not financial advice, but another reason why someone potentially would want to have their Ether on the CEL app, or a percentage of their Ether on the CEL app, where it's liquid, right? Where they can move in and out of, so they can have it on the app. They can still get a high percentage of interest, especially if they're holding CEL. They can get up to 7.2% on their ETH, and then they're still liquid. Right, because if you're staking your Ether with the contract, with this proposal of this inflation, being able to adjust this and kind of tune it, we could see some crazy pumps with Ether over the next year or two, and if you're even earlier potentially, right? And then if someone's locked in and they so anyways, it's just another something for anyone that's in ETH, which a lot of people obviously hold ETH, is like consider everything. Consider the fact that this proposal, you don't necessarily like. Do your own research, but you don't necessarily want to be locked in with the contract staked and be stuck when these pumps could happen with ETH.
Yeah.
right? You've talked about this many times, Dollar Cost. You're the first person that turned me on to this because I'm not super familiar with Ether. I haven't done a ton of research yet with ETH, but for me, it's like if I was holding a large amount of ETH, I would, you gotta do what's best for you for security purposes. But I feel like CEL is very secure. So, a percentage of it or all of it on the app, getting 7.2%, if you're holding some CEL, like that's amazing. And then you're liquid. Like it's just the best of everything. You're getting a high percent yield on your quality project, and you're also liquid. And you can sell if there's a massive run up in Ether.
Yeah, and damn, wait, I lost my train of thought. Oh shit.
Well, sorry, you were talking about the inflation, the proposal,
right?
And then you're talking about being locked in, like if you're staking.
So basically, if I was looking for yield on my Ethereum, the best places would probably be it's Celsius all the way. Like, just Celsius has a better track record with the money, and you're earning because right now, like people stupidly are throwing, like, it's, if you already have a lot of Ethereum and you don't care and you're just putting some Ethereum in there just to get that rate because it's kind of high right now, why not, right? People can throw it into the phase zero contract and get that passive income or that passive Ethereum drip. But the thing is like they won't be able to get the principal out until like the next phase comes out. So essentially, if you throw in your 32 Ethereum in, it's stuck, it's gone until they release the next phase of it. And this is the only it's a net positive, but it's a two-sided sword on Ethereum, right? So it's a net positive and a net negative. So it's creating a dumping event. So what's going on is Dax is coming in a little later. Dax is like the Ethereum man. Like that dude knows everything about Ethereum. But he's also the sexiest voice in all of CEL token. No homo. But it's, I feel like I've been watching Crypto Sports Center. Fucking asshole. Goddamn Tom.
Crypto Sports Center?
Yeah, Crypto Sports Center. Oh man.
Yeah, we're kind of gonna hit on everything. I think 24-hour live stream. I think we're not gonna just talk about CEL. We're gonna talk about it's gonna be more beneficial for everyone for us to hit kind of combine all our knowledge and talk about the overall space as well and how it relates to Celsius, because all this stuff is relating to Celsius indirectly. But there's a lot of people that are interested in other projects, right? But everything you can store in the app. That's the nice thing about Celsius. You can talk about any project and potentially it's related to Celsius, right?
Right. Oh, and one little note right here. I have eventually, after 24 hours and stuff like that, I have a guy that's going to actually do timestamps on the whole 24-hour stream. So this is going to be timestamped as well.
Oh, man, that's amazing. Yeah,
shout out to Vince, the timestamp champ. Yeah, he's a guy from the Hex community. He does timestamps for everything. So he's going to timestamp this entire thing. So it's fucking awesome.
That's great. That's definitely useful when you're doing a 24-hour stream. I mean, it's useful even on an hour or two, but on 24 hours timestamping, man, that's gonna be awesome. That's good.
So okay, where did I leave off?
Yeah, let's finish that. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, it's okay. It's fine. We have 24 hours.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. We have so much time. We can just talk about whatever, right? We're not.
I know. Usually we're so.
Usually we're just trying to like stuff everything into the conversation. We always have lots of stuff to talk about, right?
My question is Plan C going to be able to keep up this pace for 24 hours? I'm not so sure. I think around the.
I think I'm starting too strong. I'm like that guy. You remember in high school? You remember you do track and field, and you have like the cross country runners, and you got the guy that starts off on the 5K like with the sprint right out of the gates.
Yeah,
I'm just taking this rest, man. I'm taking it. I'm just sitting here, just chilling. I'm doing some ironing now.
No, I think I could get a solid 4 hours of Plan C shitting on EOS.
Yeah, I'm gonna start strong here, and we'll see how long it lasts, man. I slept 4 hours last night, so yeah, we'll see. It might be we'll be passing off the baton to many people over the course of this 24 hours. So, but yeah, sorry, Dollar Cost. I'll let you finish and stop talking here.
Okay, so let's see, EOS. God damn it, why am I thinking of EOS? No way. The Ethereum, right? So where did I leave off on the Ethereum thing?
You were talking about just like the breakdown of where you can hold. Like we're basically talking about the contract.
Yeah, basically about staking, and like if you stake, you're locking it up and you can't take it out.
Yeah. So the phase zero contract is kind of a honeypot, basically. It's really, really good for the price actually, because it starts absorbing that glut of Ethereum in the ecosystem into that phase zero contract. But it's a quite useful place for guys who have a lot of extra Ethereum that they don't need that extra Ethereum, right? So it's like if you have, like, imagine you have 1,000 Ethereum, right? Fuck it, I'll throw 300 in the contract and just cool. Now that's earning good, and then I'll just keep my 700 and just keep on rolling. It'd be like a little piggy bank. But for a guy who only had who's been struck, like, watch, I'll pull up a calculator right now. The calculator, the current price of Ethereum. Let's just say it's 725. 725 times 32 Ethereum. That's $23,000, right? So I know there's a lot of people that have been struggling to like get 32, and then I can almost guarantee you that there's been probably somewhere between 1,000 to 5,000 people that have done this, where they YOLO'd the whole 32 Ethereum into the contract.
That's so in your professional opinion, that's not the right choice.
Oh, bro, that is such a stupid idea. Oh my God. That is probably the dumbest shit ever.
But okay, it could pay off. It's a massive gamble, right? But it could. The only way it pays off is if somehow they launch the chain way earlier than expected. Like they're way ahead of schedule, which historically Ethereum has never been ahead of schedule on anything. Right.
But okay. So, Jesus, this is such a bad. Don't fucking do it. Like, just don't fucking do it. No, just if you're gonna do it, put that Ethereum in fucking CEL token or in CEL, because at least that way they're pumping your bags because they rebuy it in kind or in CEL. So either way, if you got CEL token and then you got Ethereum on there, you're just making your CEL token bag pump even more. But like, so let me just finish on the whole idea. So right now, I think there's about 1.5% of the total supplies of Ethereum on there. So there's about, what is that, like 130,000 Ethereum inside of that contract locked up in there. So that's probably gonna go anywhere from 5 to 8% before the whole bull market's over. So you're gonna have a nice amount of Ethereum in there before it's released. So that's really good. That's really price positive, right? For the little guy, it's bad because essentially what's going to happen for guys who throw their Ethereum into that phase zero contract is they have no fucking Ethereum when the price goes up. So what ends up happening, the guy who just spent like the whole fucking bear market to accumulate 32 fucking Ethereum, and he throws it into the contract, and then he's like, and the price starts going up on Ethereum, and they're like, uh-oh, I have no Ethereum. So what do? They start buying Ethereum again. Oh my God. Oh, fuck, man. And they start pumping the price up and stuff. And then what ends up happening is, because they threw all their Ethereum in the contract, they have no Ethereum to take profit on. So essentially they've transferred who can actually earn on the Ethereum. So when Ethereum starts going up in price to $3,000, $5,000, $6,000, people like me and the people and the Chads inside of the Celsius app will have some Celsius to sell into profit. And basically they're holding up the price for us, which sucks, you know. But here's another event, right? So let's just say in this hypothetical thing, right, we eventually the phase zero contract happens somewhere in late 21 if we're lucky, maybe 22, right? And the price of Ethereum is probably like $10,000, which is about $1 trillion market cap, right? Or a little under it, maybe $8,000, right? Then they unlock the tokens. Well, let's just say, what's the average? The average price is $700. Most people who have that kind of Ethereum more than likely bought it between $80 to about $400 before they threw it into that contract. So we have an average price of about, let's just say $400, right? So let's just say $400. So I'll do an 8,000 divided by $400. So you have a 20x on your money when those coins get released. What do you think is going to happen when and this is what, like, how I am a little Ethereum maybe did this the wrong way. Is I understand why they did it this way, but it's actually a double-edged sword, because you now have created a dumping event for the price of Ethereum as well, which is a very good place for us people who know this is happening to have cash on the side. So when it takes a shit, we buy up all the Ethereum at a cheaper price, which is like awesome, right? But this is bad for this is why it's all around a bad thing for the people throwing into the contract. The small guys, the bigger guys, they don't care. They don't care. They have so much money, it doesn't matter. They can just they're just trying to accumulate more Ethereum over time, right? But for the small guy who needs the money, it matters a lot, right? So you'll end up getting the price of Ethereum will be $8,000, and 5% of the total supply of Ethereum is going to be in the contract, maybe more, possibly 10. So imagine you have 13 million Ethereum that just got unlocked, that the average dude's sitting on a 20 to 25x on their money.
Yeah, it's the unrealized gains, right? It's the unrealized gains. So it's the skew of you're unnaturally affecting the unrealized gains, and it's skewed more than it would be normally. So by locking up, a percentage of the supply, you're kind of making that into, like you said, exactly a dumping event, right? So yeah, that's where it's so nice to be liquid on CEL in whatever you're invested in, because you can make the right moves at the right time based on what's happening in the external market.
Right. And here's the crazy thing too. So that will be, so they've also had this thing of keeping up with not keeping up with the Joneses, but more like envy and anger, because imagine you have your 32 Ethereum. Like, I'll do the math on this shit because it's just so you understand what kind of numbers I'm talking about. Like 32 times 8,000. That's $250,000 that you've had locked up. So imagine a dude that doesn't even have that much money, and he's like he's scraped and scrimped and saved $10,000, and now he's got $250,000 fucking dollars, and he's just been like a crackhead like this, like, oh fuck, when I get my Ethereum drop, oh my god, when I get my money out, baby, it's fucking Las Vegas and shit. My honey's not gonna divorce me anymore. Like I'm gonna buy myself a house or a car or something, and then he gets his tokens unlocked. What do you think he's gonna do? He's gonna sell it.
Yeah,
well, everyone else is going to sell it too at the same time. So you'll end up.
It's going to be a mad dash, right, to see who sells and who can get the best. Because you have. Yeah, sorry, keep going. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's basically you're gonna see the price of Ethereum, a huge buying opportunity in Ethereum, which I'm gonna take advantage of. Ching, and it's gonna go from 8,000 probably down to fucking 3 Gs.